Hey. What's going on, everybody? It's Rod on the road, signing on. I met this Marina. Been here most of the day, relaxing and enjoying life. I don't know if y'all can see it in front of the flag. In front of the truck, I got the flag right there, a little bitty flag, and I also got a little tiny Christmas tree there. And it's rock. I like that Christmas tree. But as you can see, the weather is calm. It was cold last night, but today it's quite calm, and I think it's got up to like the 50s. Van's doing great. Got that tire situation under control. With I won't have an issue anymore. Even got that spare deal going. But this Marina is pretty quiet around here. I don't know during the day they have a lot of work going on around here or something like that. But people come in and out. I think there are houseboats out there. People live on them. I don't know if I can zoom in. Y'all can see those boats right there. So I don't know my resolution. I've been playing with it on this video deal. And that sun's, it's winter time, so it's casting low. But a thing I wanted to talk about is staying warm, in which most of y'all know I got a butter heater, and I also just use covers. I want one of those 0-degree bags, but I don't have one right now. But with that van being insulated the way it is, it's pretty cozy. I don't really have any problems. But you just do the best you can in cold weather. And being I'm not really from a cold weather climate, some people have a more difficult time adjusting. I mean, I adjust pretty well, but some people might have more of a difficult time, and that's something you really need to prepare for, and you really need to take that serious, because you don't want any safety issues coming with that frigid weather. But as you can see, another thing, I got this stove here. It's a Coleman dual camp stove deal, and you just it's one of those liquid, use the liquid, or you can use liquid gasoline, the stuff they sell in Walmart, and it's pretty cool. Check that out. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I'd use that in a like I said, inside of the van. I wouldn't use it. I use, like a day like this, I could set it up right here and cook whatever I wanted to cook. And I looked at the ratings, and it's pretty good. When propane's not available, this is a secondary source of way to cook. And I'm gonna hang on to it. It's pretty nice. I like it. So that's something else that I've acquired to the arsenal of cooking. I have the like I said, the what is it, the Coleman from Walmart, the butane. It's awesome. That butane, one can of butane lasts me like a whole week, and that's using it quite often. So I recommend that. After I put this to the test, I don't know if any of y'all out there have this, but I definitely would appreciate some reviews on it. Being since I've never used it, it's still brand new, and Coleman makes it. But I think this is more of one of the original versions. I think this thing's been around for a while. This is kind of old school. I'm thinking. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about it. I know how you use it. I've seen it at Bass Pro and different places like that. But any suggestions on this will be well appreciated. So that's pretty much that on that. And one more thing, I just want to maybe this sun, I don't want that sun right in my face. I don't know how it's gonna make the shot look, but anyway, thinking about quality of life while on the road is very important. And you really got to have that. And I can't say that enough. I can't stress that enough. You want to have fun. You're not, I know some people do it. It's for financial and all that kind of stuff, and that's fine. It's fine. But you still want to have fun, and you want to enjoy yourself. If you drink, drink responsibly. Don't be irresponsible. You can't be driving and drinking. You have to, pull up to your bar or something like that, and then you go inside and have you a few drinks. Don't plan on driving when you leave there, especially in the van. You wanna take it easy. If you have to come out, know the laws in that area. Be responsible, and lay down, sleep it off. Maybe in the morning, I'm sure they don't mind. You drank at their establishment. I'm sure they don't mind you, sleeping it off out in the parking lot. That would be kind of just crazy for them to want you to leave the establishment if they got you drunk. I mean, you want to be responsible. So that's my take on that. Pretty much, and I've just been enjoying myself out here. It's just cool and refreshing. Waking up smelling that fresh air. I kind of took myself off coffee for about a week, maybe 2 weeks. Been just drinking a lot of tea, and I'm back on coffee now. And hygiene, very important. You want to stay on top of that. You want to wipe yourself down every day. If you can't shower every day, you want to shower as often as possible. And you just want to stay clean. I don't have to go into detail about all that. Y'all know about all that and what. I'm just throwing out some tips and throwing out some pointers and stuff like that. Things you want to do and things you need to do. And I hate when people stare at me when I'm doing a video. It's like they crawl away from on the rock and they don't understand. Anyway, that's cool too. It's all good. But every day is a different day. Every day is an adventure. You're making the best out of those situations. You just wanna, because I'm gonna tell you something. Life is not. You get one shot at this thing, man, and you want to make sure you have no regrets. You want to enjoy it. You want to live it on your terms to some degree. You want to keep the faith, but at the same time, you want to live a good life. You want to fill every day with, just enjoyment. And you want to do what you enjoy. I like being outdoors. And, it's like camping. I like camping. I love camping. Anybody that knows me knows that. And when people go on like one vacation and they're like, well, vacation's over. We've camped out a week and, now it's time to go back to what's normal. But what if you can make camping normal? What if you could camp every single day? There's no going back to the suit and tie or whatever you're going back to, and you're waiting another year before you can go on that trip again. What if you can take a trip just every day, every other day, every week? Taking trips are like part of your life. Now that's living. You want to live, not exist. And I'm saying these things to try to get to a point that, man, you got one shot at life. Don't blow it. Enjoy it. You got the power to do it. It starts up here, one step at a time, one foot in front of the other foot. You might say, well, I'll never reach this point. I'll never get to it. It's not true. You can get to it. Just don't forget, one step at a time. And I'm going to leave on that note, and God bless America. And y'all keep on keeping on out there. Keep the faith. And this is Rod. Until next time. Make your dreams reality. This is Rod. God bless America. Signing off. Y'all stay safe out there.